Hey everybody, it's Mace1370. I have a couple great RTA games today. Before we get into those though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please check the video description below for a link to my Discord. Okay, so I've been experimenting with different pre-bans during the preseason here. I decided to go with Spec Tenny this time. I wanted to force a Bruiser draft so I could test out the new Little Queen Charlotte changes. The opponent pre-banned Fallen Cecilia though and first picked RB. So I decided to try out something else I've been practicing, which is Cleave. So when I Cleave, I've been trying to take my CR pushers early, like Faithless Litica and Alots. I like to secure them before the opponent can, to try to get a turn one. I have a variety of answers to RB when I try and Cleave. Unfortunately, one of those is Spectre Tenebria, and I did pre-ban her, so that's a little awkward. I decided to go for it anyways. So the opponent takes Crow and Tempest Surin. I take C-Dom, she's just a good pick, when cleaving. She has great synergy with Faithless Litica. I also take ML Lulu because she answers RB, and she's also a good answer for Tempest Surin, since her S1 ignores the damage share of Aureus-like effects that Crow probably has, and can also hit twice in one turn. The opponent takes Celine and Kayron. I still don't have great answers for Celine, so I'm going to probably have to ban her. I've debated about building maybe a thicker DPS unit that I could push with Alots to try to absorb this Celine hit. I think that's a reasonable option. I end my draft with Biseria to counter the Kayron, since I won't be able to ban him. So banning Celine, I think the biggest trouble I'm going to have here, now that he's banned ML Lulu, is dealing with RB. I was hoping he was going to ban Faithless Litica instead, but I think he made a good choice banning the Lulu. So now I have to kind of dance around the Arbiter. My plan, it's a little awkward. I think I'm going to try to get skill null up from Faithless Litica and then kill him. Unfortunately, then he's going to blind my units, so I kind of need to pick off a lot of other things first, so that I don't have a lot more, damage to deal after the blind comes out. So I could boost my Biseria here. I'm trying to decide if I want to boost Biseria or C-Dom. I'm afraid if I boost the Biseria and give her attack buff, she might one-shot the RB, and then he just, comes back and one-shots me. So instead I decide to boost up C-Dom. And then I can deal a little bit of damage to Tempest Surin and soften her up, because she's going to take several hits to kill. I also need to get Immortality procced on Kayron. I feel like this is a little awkward here. I decided to go with a strip, but I realize it's going to push my Biseria up ahead of my Faithless Litica, because Litica will go to 100% CR, and then Biseria will go to like 100 plus CR, and Biseria will get the turn. She doesn't have attack buff though, and this RB is slow, so he's probably a Bruiser RB. And luckily this doesn't kill. I was afraid it would. So I go ahead and I kill the Tempest Surin here. I could have burned and killed the Crow, but I figure I can just reset him, and the Tempest Surin might be more annoying if it goes into stealth at the end of the turn, so I felt like I had to kill Surin there. Here I reset Kayron because I don't want to have him able to extend his abilities, but he wasn't already immortal yet, so that was a waste. I think I should have reset Crow instead. Turns out it's a counter Kayron, so he's able to counter my Alots. I burned him here to get another turn. So RB is almost dead. But Kayron still needs to have Immortality procced. I do have skill null on the majority of my team, so I go ahead and decide just to finish off the RB here. I figure because C-Dom has skill null, she's not going to die, so she could, at least proc Immortality on the Kayron, and I get a super lucky 15% on the C-Dom, so she's not blinded. I'd still have a 50% chance to hit here. Either way, I'm going to burn into the Kayron so that the Aureus damage spills over and kills the Crow. Kayron counters. So now we just have to finish off RB before he gets a turn.
You're obviously going to lose.
And that hit debuff is doing work on my team. Luckily, I land a hit with Biseria, and I'm able to kill him off. Her passive helps a lot there because it increases her hit chance. And I know it's counter Kayron. I decided to push my team anyways, just to try to shake off the hit debuff, but actually I don't think it matters. I think what I think what I wanted to do was push up the Lidica to try to get blind onto him. I felt like that was maybe worth risking the counter. And I do land the blind, so that was lucky. Kayron S1's here, and he's not able to kill anyone. So that was game. So still pretty inexperienced with Cleave, but I'm trying to get better. It's actually a lot trickier than it looks because there are a lot of counter picks that you have to be able to deal with. I'm still working on getting my roster fleshed out for that. Alright, so we have game 2 here. I decided to pre-ban the Spectre Tenebria again. This time my opponent's Mevlin, and he pre-bans Faithless Lidica. I think last time I played him, he saw I was practicing with Cleave, so he bans out the Lidica, preventing me from doing that. Luckily, I've pre-banned Specteni here, so I'm able to go into a Bruiser draft. He first picks Cerise, which is kind of a scary first pick these days since she's recently been buffed, and if you put Miss Confile on her, her S1 dual attack can be very scary with the defense break. I take Ambitious Tywin because his cleanse ability is going to instantly cleanse away the speed down on Cerise, which is the main, debuff on her S3. I tend not to care about the restrict if I'm playing, a Bruiser team. And then I also take ML Crow here because he'll be able to put up immunity and, prevent her from stunning and defense breaking people. Also, she has, an AoE on her S3 and she turn cycles quickly, so that might help get ML Crow to reset his cooldown more quickly. Mevlin takes Vivian, I assume to get immunity on his team and combat the ML Tywin. And then he also takes Lilius, who is another dual attacker, so I don't know if he's trying to practice some sort of, dual attack combo. I debate about taking Rowana here just because of all the dual attacks, but I don't know what else he's going to do, and Rowana may just kind of sit there and not do anything. I take Ruel. She, is just a generically good healer and can revive people. Also, if he is able to, land a defense break with Cerise, then a unit could go down pretty quickly, and there might be value in having a res. I also take Remnant Violet, who I've recently put onto a lifesteal build, just to kind of play around with that. I like pairing him with Ruel because every so often, his evasion fails, and you have a dead Riolet. So it's nice to be able to res him when that happens. Mevlin takes Little Queen Charlotte, I assume because I've taken a dark unit now. And then also Fallen Cecilia. So I have one more pick here. He doesn't really have any sustain beyond maybe Sigurd's Scythe on his Little Queen Charlotte. So I just go ahead and take SSB, and then I'm going to ban out the Vivian. I don't want him to have immunity because I have ML Tywin, who is going to put a lot of debuffs onto people. And then I also have SSB, who's going to do a lot of debuffing as well. So I have to ban the Vivian here. I would like to ban the LQC, but even if she one-shots the Riolet, I can probably just res him right back with Ruel anyways. Assuming Ruel gets through. Which, Ruel gets banned, so now I have to rely on Riolet actually, dodging. We all know how often that happens. I give SSB's health imprints to Riolet and Crow. Crow to help his damage, and Riolet to maybe help him live a little bit longer. Tywin's on Adamant Shield. Sometimes I run him on Holy Sack. I've just been kind of playing around with different options and seeing what fits best. So you can see Cerise gets the first turn by a mile and uses her S3, and the speed down just vanishes thanks to Tywin. So it really nullifies her S3. It essentially did nothing here. I mean, I guess it got rid of immunity. But luckily, since we have our speed tuning set up, my Last Rider Crow is going to be able to put that up right away. Cerise is invincible, so this is going to be less damage on the AoE here, which means less damage going to Fallen Cecilia, who is on Orius, it looks like. And he still has immunity up on Little Queen Charlotte. I just want to wait one more turn on my Tywin so I can soul burn his S3 when I use it. Also, if he uses his S3 on LQC here, it's going to make the LQC vulnerable to Tywin's S3. So this might incentivize him to hold back. My Riolet is actually on Violet Talisman, and I kind of prefer to let that stack up if possible. And I just noticed it looks like Cerise was able to strip his evasion there, so that was a little scary. So it looks like he goes for the S3 anyways, onto the Riolet, and of course it crits. So that's pretty much a dead Riolet. I was surprised he lived. It's probably a bulky LQC. So Riolet down. So now it's all down to SSB. But luckily his immunity is down. SSB lands a defense break. So her S3 here is going to really hurt. And then in addition to that, Tywin is going to come around and do a ton of damage. Buff block is also huge here. It means it totally takes away the sustain from Fallen Cecilia. I get a lucky dual attack, but I don't think it really mattered because I would have been able to soul burn this anyways and really control the rest of the game with this. I don't think he would have been able to finish off SSB with all those debuffs. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Later.